What's up guys, Nolan here, and today we're breaking down the new weight system in Escape from Tarkov, as well as how to most efficiently level your strength and endurance in order to counter it. Everything I will be talking about will be in-game as of March 18th, 2020. BSG have been making changes here and there for the new system, but seem to have landed in a good spot, at least good enough for me to make a video on it, but be aware that things may change as this is a beta and still in development. You now have two stamina pools to drain from that's split between your arms and legs. Arms will drain when aiming down the sight, throwing things, hitting things, getting up from prone, and getting shot. Legs will drain from running, jumping, getting up from prone, walking while at a certain level of overweight, and getting shot. There are several new designations for your weight class that will affect your movement in-game. There's underweight, 3 levels of overweight, then critically overweight. The total weight at which you hit these designations will change depending on your strength level, but for most of you watching this, you should be underweight until about 40 kilograms. Then once slightly above 45, you will hit the second level of overweight where your movement speed is decreased. Then once above 50 kilograms, you'll hit the third level where just walking will drain your stamina. Last but not least, you will reach critically overweight once above 75 kilograms, and you will practically not be able to move while getting very fatigued to the point where you might die from lack of energy if you go too long. Before we get to the stats, I need to remind everybody that if you have your hideout upgraded to the air filters, you know you will be online for a few hours, and you can afford it, to be sure to activate the FP100 filters for a 40% bonus to the stats you are about to hear. Also, be sure to pay attention at all times to the skill bar itself, as the red arrow will tell you if you are still efficiently gaining that skill. When it hits red, you should stop, as it will start to matter less and less until it doesn't level at all. Endurance, for all intensive purposes, only cares about distance traveled. Period. Weight will only matter once you are overweight, because then it will start to slow you down, in turn making you travel slower and taking it longer to get endurance points. It's that simple. Strength has a few things attached to it. Strength is also leveled by distance traveled, but only when overweight. I could find no difference between overweight and critically overweight travel, so the only thing moving while critically overweight does is waste your time. Throwing grenades is obviously costly, but easily the quickest way to level strength, with about 0.2 points each toss. At 8 grenades thrown, you will lose the bonus, and at 16 grenades thrown, you will start to get diminishing returns. Although if you have FU money, throwing 20 grenades is really when it starts to not move at all. Hitting players in scavs with a melee weapon will also do wonders for leveling strength, and technically doesn't cost you anything, while being much easier now since you have the two different stamina pools between your arms and your legs. Since it's based off distance traveled, I personally couldn't see any increase based off jumping, and all it did was lower my available stamina. Take note here guys that you actually can still sprint up until you are critically overweight, but it will cause massive fatigue. All in all, the most efficient way to level is to activate the air filters in your hideout, then run your raids at just over your overweight limit, throw grenades, melee scavs, and run as far as you can. Once you see the arrow for endurance and strength go red, extract and repeat. And if you want to do it as passive as possible, just make sure you are overweight, remember some grenades, and cover as much distance as you can. If this video helped you out, you know the drill. I really appreciate the people who do. If you lack the critical information, you can ask me in the comments. I will be leaving my opinion on this patch after the outro because it is not important to your enjoyment of the game, but I keep getting asked about it, so there. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I also hope you have a nice day. See you guys. Alright guys, so I know the days of lugging out thick cases full of gear are practically over, and it does suck, but these things happen for games under development, and BSG are great at listening to the community as a whole, while still moving the game in its intended direction. They literally had changes up the same day as the patch, and a few more in the days after, based off of community feedback, and a major bug. They could not be moving quicker if they tried. I bet they tried a lot. Because they're not machines, even though they might act like machines sometimes. They're still human beings, and this stuff takes time. And even then, they still had fixes the same day and the days after. The people freaking out make it sound like they'll never work on the game again after the patch, and that the game is ruined forever unless they change it immediately. This isn't the first time something like this has happened, and the loud minority make it seem like the end of the world, when in reality, the game really hasn't changed that much. So the best way to move forward, guys, is just try to live with it and move on. If not, go to another game. It's really not that big of a deal. There's no need to get angry about it. I hope you guys are otherwise enjoying the patch as much as you can, and I also hope you have a nice day. See you guys.